is To Catch a Machiavellian. In this report, we will use a hidden camera in order to lure Michigan students into committing typically unjust acts in the name of their own sense of morality. Students will be told that there is a charity that feeds and provides meals for the homeless that is in need of more dining materials. The actor will try to persuade the students to adopt a sort of Robin Hood mentality by explaining that the dining halls at the University of Michigan have so many surplus items that they can afford to have a few stolen for the homeless. After the encounter, the students will be clued into the ruse and interviewed on why or why not they decided to either participate in or shrug the actor's request. Let's see what happens.
Excuse me, can I have a second of your time?
Yeah.
So, I'm a part of a charitable organization on campus that works with local charities to help homeless people. And we were recently contacted by a student that said they're low on silverware and supplies. And we had this idea where we feel there's an overabundance of silverware and cups and things like that in the dining halls. And we were thinking that because so many students steal for their own use from the dining halls, that we would actually ask students to steal for this charity. I was just wondering what you thought about it. And if you could really do that.
No.
How's it going?
I have to do a project for class. It's like philanthropic work, and I get to choose like a charity that I have to like help out. And the charity I chose is like a homeless shelter. They have like a bunch of food and stuff, but they don't have any plates or like cups or anything like that. So I'm like really crunched for time. So could you possibly like help me out? Like I need to go and just like steal like a couple of plates and stuff like that and just throw them in my bag.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any other options. Alright.
The event is to work for the homeless shelter in Ann Arbor. It's like a local homeless shelter. They feed the people once a week. Friday night dinner allows them to come with their family and not worry about something. You can't say that?
Thank you.
We collected food and everything. Like there's this local homeless shelter in Ann Arbor. Like a lot of people are hungry. You know, like some of the people that sit out on the street, but the problem is that they're very
I don't think it's 5 minutes. I can take out a few plates for you.
Although no clear majority arose on the issue of dirty hands, we couldn't help but notice a pattern. All of our female interviewees declined to dirty their hands, while all but one of the male students agreed to.
So can I ask you why you made your decision regarding the charity?
I don't think it's right to steal, even if it is for a good cause.
What stopped you from doing this act?
I mean, there are things right on the university tables that say, you know, they're losing a lot of silverware and bowls and things. And I just don't think it should be necessary for a charity to do something bad to therefore do something. Like, I just don't see that as necessary.
That's pretty justified on the grounds of like stealing from the cafeteria is like pretty normalized behavior. Like a lot of people do it. It's not like a kind of like an abstract thing that not a lot of people do. So on that grounds, like I didn't feel really bad taking anything from the cafeteria. On top of the fact that it goes to a good cause to help the homeless, I thought it was justified.
Okay.
Like, who would you have been harming in this situation?
I think I would have been hurting both myself and the people who own the plates and silverware here because it's not my property, it's theirs.
Well, man, like when you're helping out the homeless, it's just what you got to do sometimes, you know.
Who did you feel that you were going to be harming in this situation?
Well, and it seemed like it was for a good cause, and that's why at first I was more okay with it, because these are homeless people and it's good to feed them. But the more plates that are taken away, I mean, first of all, it makes it more difficult for them. They have to buy new plates. They have to, and it's just, I don't know, I'm uncomfortable with the idea of stealing something.
As of 2012, men hold 83% of congressional seats and 78% of the state-level executive positions in government. This data shows that government is a male-dominated field. Interestingly, this correlates with our data. Male students were more willing to make Machiavellian choices than women were. So you feel that the good of this act outweighs the bad?
I think they're both like pretty minuscule in terms of the impact, but like, yeah, I think you could say that.
Okay.
Who did you feel that you would be harming in participating?
I mean, the university, they probably spend a lot of money on having bowls and other silverware for us to use, and it's from our money for housing and everything, so they'd be losing a lot of money if we did that.
And I don't think it's fair just because there are other people who are unfortunately in a lot of need, and that's a terrible thing, but I don't think that we should try and help them at the expense of other people.
Right. I feel like there's a way we could have gotten the plates and silverware by not stealing.
So without dirtying your hands.
Right.
I think there are other ways to go about it that, so the good, the good can go towards a good end. It's a very difficult issue because, you do want to feed the homeless, but, I don't think it's worth it to do something bad and that screws over other people to help someone else.
Do you believe this act would morally haunt you?
No, man, not at all.
After consulting outside sources such as a study on gender differences in risk assessment done at the University of California at San Diego, we uncovered some information that supports our findings. The study found that men are statistically more inclined to risky behavior as they perceive potential negative consequences to a lesser degree and are even found to enjoy taking risks. It is clear that when an individual such as a politician endeavors to dirty their hands for some greater good or benefit, they are taking a risk. Many a politician has had their reputation smeared due to their involvement in backroom deals, underhandedness, and so forth. The fact that men have shown to be more inclined to take risks explains not only the results of our social experiment, but why politics, a male-dominated field, appears to be teeming with dirty hands.
Do you think that an act such as this would sometimes be necessary to promote true justice?
I don't think so. I think there's always a way to do things in a way that's morally correct, and I just don't see how stealing would be necessary or how doing something mean to someone to benefit someone else makes it okay.
Okay, thanks.
Just because it's not like I went out and bought that though. That's the university's money, so they're using everybody's tuition to do that. And say I start doing that, that might start a trend that sets a precedent where people think it's okay. Hey, yeah, this charity really needs it, so everybody just take 3 bowls and 2 spoons and a fork, and we'll just give it to the soup kitchen. And yeah, and then that would be a good thing for the soup kitchen, I guess, because they would have more utensils and bowls, etc. But at the same time, you're slowly chipping away at university funds.
Do you believe that Machiavellian acts such as this are sometimes necessary on a broader scale, such as in government, to promote true justice and security?
Yeah, I think it's more a question of utilitarian function. Who does the silverware help more? A University of Michigan student or a homeless person? You know what I mean?
No, I think there's always a way to do what's right, the right way, without dirtying your hands.
Do you think that Machiavellian acts such as these are necessary to promote true justice and peace?
Well, man, in certain situations, I feel like you would have to do something bad, especially if the good outweighs the bad.
I think practically they're used a lot, but it's not good. The means don't all, or the ends don't always justify the means. Is that how it works? But no, I don't think so. I think that the Machiavellian tactics are not always just, and it's not fair to hurt other people for common good. You don't want to screw over a lot of other people to do something that's good.
So you think that getting your hands dirty is not the best approach?
No, I think there are other ways to go about it that you can promote good for everybody.
Ultimately, Machiavellian logic has come to play a major role in politics. Many politicians tend to understand that, as Machiavelli says himself, it would be most laudable for a prince to be endowed with all the qualities that are reckoned good, but it is impossible for him to possess or constantly practice them all. Because of this, Walzer acknowledged that politics probably isn't for everyone. He also says that it is already a minority of people who are even interested in holding political positions. Our study found that a minority of people were willing to dirty their hands, even by doing something as menial as stealing silverware for charity. Conveniently, this is in accordance with Walzer's ideas that few people are interested in being involved in the field of politics, and fewer still are cut out for political service.
It's a classic Robin Hood scenario. People who go to University of Michigan are pretty wealthy. They're paying tuition dollars, not to mention endowment, and also other stuff that compounds onto it to help the homeless. I think is just fine.